Hi, my name is Manish Kumar. I'm a cryo student and a coding teacher in Bright Chance. So I'm here to answer a JavaScript question that what is the time complexity of this code? If you can see the code, you can see that there's a function and there are two array passed as a parameter. And in two arrays, they are finding the common roots. So if you can clearly see that like two elements have two for loops and they are iterating over each and every element of the both arrays. Before that, let's find out what to mean by time complexity. So time complexity is nothing but the time taken by a program to generating the output. It means it will how much time it will take to given the desired output. So suppose if we can take an example, we have this program code and we have that three different like coder. First is taking this much time, second is taking this much time, and third one is taking this much time. We can see that the second one is taking very less time to execute the same output code. Why is that? Because I think the code, or we can say the logic and the methods it's used by the the coder 2 is very efficient, so it will take very less time. So in this case, we can say that the code 2 is very efficient and it's the best time complexity. So we will always take the solution of the coder 2. So in this case, we have three time complexities. The first one is we can always rename it as big O, the worst case. Like what is the worst case of the code to take to execute the output. And second one is the omega, that is the average case. And the last one is the theta. It is a best case, like how it is a best case which is generating the output. So if you can see the program here, we can see that there are two different arrays. And we know that how we can calculate the time complexity is depend on how much lines of code in that program is. So we can see that this is the first lines of code, and we know that it is just a declaration of array, a new array. So we can say that it will always execute one time. After that, this is an we can say a for loop, and it's depend on number of lines. When we know that this is the condition in which the array works, like the for loop works. So it's dependent on array dot length. And in this case, we don't know what is the length of the array. Suppose it will be n times. So in this case, this will run n into C2 times because we can know that it will run number of times. And inside this, we have one more array. We have one more for loop. And we know that the working of nested for loop is for this one time, it will run like for the whole array of .NET. So it means that for the first iteration of the outer loop, this is the outer loop, the inner loop will work n times. So in this case, we can say that if in this case, we can say that, so this will taking the n1 time, a c1 time, the second loop will run n times, and for that n time, this loop will run n into m times. Because we know that we don't know the length of both the arrays. And after this, this is the first condition, like it's saying that array one on. So if both the condition have the same element, so it will also run one time, we can say C3, then C4, it will also run one times like this. And this is also run. So in that case, we know that we always don't calculate, or we cannot consider the constant statement. So in this case, we can see that there are two arrays and which is a nested, which are nested loops. So for the first loop, it will run n times. So in this case, we can say the time complexity of the given program is n into m, where n is the length of the outer array, and this is the length of the inner array. So in this case, we can say this is the time complexity of given program, that is big O, n into m, like this. And if the both array have the same length, we can say that the time complexity is O of n squared. So in this way, we can calculate the time complexity of this program, and we can see how much time it will take. In that way, we can calculate, and that is the best possible way we can calculate the time complexity of a given program using this, how many conditions we have, how many times the for loop we have. Basically, it will always depends on the for loop because it will always run n number of times. In that way, you can calculate it. Thank you.